Hello and welcome to the Special Collections and Rare Books Department at Ellis Library. What we have here for you today is a medieval manuscript from the middle of the 15th century. So this book was written on paper, but it is bound in vellum, which is another word for parchment. Vellum was often used for this purpose because it was so durable. This binding has no form of structural support, so it is a limp binding. And another perk is that you could write the title of your book right on the cover, which has been done here. The title has a few abbreviations. Ambrosius de Virginitate et de Viduis tum duobus sermonibus. The Ambrosius is Ambrose of Milan. He is a 4th century bishop and governor, and he's a very important theologian. Translated to English, the title means Ambrose on Virginity and on Widowhood, as well as 2 sermons. We are going to focus on that first text, Ambrose on Virginity. So this is the first page of the book. There's a lot to see here, as there is throughout, but let's start with the general style of the text. A lot of this ink is brown or black, and that is depending on how much it is aged, but as you will see in a moment, some of the text is also done in red. So this is the title. It's done in red to make it easier to find. It was a very common practice in the Middle Ages, and the other titles of the other texts in this book are also red. If we fill out the abbreviations in the title, which are marked by these little dashes over the letters that precede what has been cut, we find that this is Ambrosius Episcopus ad Sororum suam Marcellinam de Virginitate, or the Bishop Ambrose to his sister Marcellina on virginity. Marcellina, who is also sometimes called Marcella, was Ambrose's older sister, and she helped raise him. She had pledged herself to virginity long before he wrote this letter, which is more of an excuse for him to just write a treatise on virginity than it is actually to give his sister any kind of advice, which she didn't need. Let's go a little deeper into this book. You'll notice this ruling as we go. This marks the outer boundary of the text, which is very common because remember, this is being done by hand, and the scribe doesn't want to mess up too much. And this scribe is very, very good. You'll notice that he has no ruling in the text block itself. So he's doing that completely freehand, which is quite a testament. I'm not sure that I could pull something like that off. Ruling was often done either with ink, as it has been here, or sometimes it would be done blind, where you would just make a little groove using pressure. And the point of these large margins was in order to provide lots of space for people to make notes, to make adjustments, to note things down for themselves. There's a Jesuit priest who said, if you are not making notes in a book, if you're not reading with a pen in hand, you are not reading. And one of the things that you may notice as we look at this marginalia is that the writing is quite different from the rest. That means it was probably a different person writing. Speaking of annotations, let's take a look at the writing of the text. This style of writing is known as black letter. This is more specifically, this is Gothic bastarda. That is a form of black letter, and it was widely used in the north of Europe, especially in France and Netherlands and Germany. And if you've ever seen an image of the Gutenberg Bible, it may look very familiar to you because Johannes Gutenberg based his typeface on Gothic bastarda. Also, a thing of note on this page is this phrase right down here, which we'll zoom in on in a second. This is what is known as the catchword. So, what exactly is a catchword? Well, as it happens, a catchword is an old trick used first by scribes and later by printers to make sure they got their pages in the right order. And so this text right here may look quite familiar if we move to the top of the book. You'll notice that it recurs right there, and that way you always knew that you had everything in the right order because the catchword was at the bottom and would match what was at the top. We hope you've enjoyed this short video and that perhaps it has inspired you to come take a look at this book yourself. It and many other treasures are kept here for you in special collections.